Here's more wrestling news for December 1st, 2022, and we're starting off today with Roman Reigns, who has dominated as Universal Champion for the past 823 days and unified that title with the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 38. This proved to be a problem for WWE, as it was reported not long after WrestleMania that the USA Network were unhappy, given how Reigns rarely appears with the WWE title on Raw. WWE has been reportedly trying to think up ideas for how they can fix this problem, and one idea being rumored is that Reigns will be forced to defend the two titles over the two nights of WrestleMania 39. When Ringside News asked, though, a source within WWE shot the report down, saying there's no plans for Reigns to defend the WWE title on night 1 and the Universal title on night 2, or vice versa. That source added that discussions for this idea never took place, and this isn't something being discussed on any level within WWE. As to how WWE will solve their title problem, only time will tell, but while they could always introduce a new World Championship, expect just one match from the Tribal Chief at WrestleMania 39. Over to AEW, as this week's show saw the return of Hangman Adam Page, but it also marked the return of Ruby Soho. After Willow Nightingale's match with Anna Jay, Soho appeared on TV, much to the delight of the fans. The former WWE superstar was last seen at All Out in September, teaming with Ortiz in a losing effort to AAA World Mixed Tag Team Champions Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello. Suffering a broken nose in the match that required reconstructive surgery, it made sense that Soho returned by attacking Mello, and after making quick work of Anna Jay as well, the tattooed wrestler is back where she belongs. It's been over half a year since Sasha Banks was last on WWE TV, but the boss has been plenty busy out of the ring. Banks has performed in New York Fashion Week, attended multiple premieres, and now has been spotted in her home state of Massachusetts. For the Boston Celtics game with the Miami Heat, Banks was spotted at courtside and proved to be a good luck charm for the Celtics, who won 134-121. Banks was all smiles at the match and in good spirits, and is allegedly still in talks to return to WWE after being suspended in May. Despite reports dating all the way back to August that Banks will be returning soon, there's still no sign of the former women's champion, but she's certainly having fun away from WWE. If you've watched Wendy Choo in NXT, you'll know that the nap-taking superstar is usually pretty relaxed, but that she can also have a mean streak in the ring. Last week, Choo's feud with Cora Jade began with a match that Jade won, but the two have been active on social media. After Jade posted a TikTok mocking Choo's post-match breakdown, Wendy turned to Twitter to share a photo in her pajamas. Jade thought she'd have the last laugh, telling Choo to STFU, but neither she nor the fans expected Choo's response of, "Okay, Cora." Fans immediately reacted to share their shock of the C-word being used by a WWE superstar, and not long after, Choo deleted the tweet in which she used the comment. We can't help but wonder if Choo was instructed to take down the insulting tweet, and while NXT has been pushing the envelope with some of its storylines and dialogue, this may prove to be the real test for how far this new regime is willing to go. When it comes to referees, few officials are more iconic than Charles Robinson, who was deemed Little Nate for his blonde hair and resemblance to Ric Flair. Robinson is also known for his reactions in the ring and his tendency to oversell during matches when he reacts to moves, and this is something Charles would like to get off his chest. On Instagram, the veteran WWE referee issued an apology for sometimes taking away from the focus of the match, adding that he is, quote, ridiculous. Robinson added that when he hears people talk about refs overselling, he knows it's about him, but it's something he just can't help himself with when he's excited by what's happening in the ring. Charles Robinson is WWE's longest tenured referee, but his silly overselling has been part of his on-screen performance for years, and while he hopes to be more serious from now on, that may prove to be easier said than done. At SummerSlam, Dakota Kai returned to WWE after her release earlier this year and was the start of what would become a wave of returns. Since Kai's reemergence, Karrion Kross, Hit Row, Bray Wyatt, Candice LeRae, and many others have returned, but Kai's own comeback nearly didn't happen. In an interview with Getting Over, Kai said that she was talking with a couple of other promotions during her months away from WWE before getting the call from Triple H. The talks never got super far, but we definitely touched base. I didn't hear anything for a few weeks until Triple H contacted me. There were a few promotions here and there, but it was lax talks, I would say. they never progressed to anything further. At that point in time, I had waited a few weeks. I think it was meant to be when Triple H called me because at that time I felt good. I felt ready to get back in the ring, and sure enough, this guy calls and wants me back. Yeah, there were talks. Kai didn't name any promotions she was speaking to, though we imagine Tony Khan would have at least showed interest in bringing in the New Zealand wrestler to his women's division. In the end, Dakota Kai returned to WWE, which has proven to be a smart move, as fans are now able to catch the two-time and reigning WWE Women's Tag Team Champion every week on Raw. If you've been on YouTube for longer than 30 seconds, you've probably received an ad or sponsored video for Raid Shadow Legends, the popular fighting game, which now includes a WWE star. In the latest commercial for the game, Ronda Rousey can be seen playing the game, but after coming up short, literally marches into the TV and demands to be put in the game. This is hardly the first foray into gaming for Rousey, who, in addition to being an avid streamer and character in WWE games, voices Sonya Blade in 2019's Mortal Kombat 11. We don't know what exactly Rousey's deal with the game is, but it's interesting that WWE is allowing her to do this project, and we can't help but wonder if others wouldn't have been allowed if put in the same position. We've seen plenty of WWE returns over the last 3 months, and it was only recently that Sarah Logan came back to WWE, but with a much different look to who she was before. Aligning herself with the Viking Raiders, Logan is now Valhalla, and now has a new look which is striking, if not unique. Many have compared Valhalla's new identity to wrestler Max the Impaler, and that's a comparison that is certainly appropriate according to the NWA's Natalia Markova. I mean, honestly, I think it's a ripoff because I know for a fact that Sarah knows Max. I think it's, again, that goes back to this disrespect thing. You can do something similar. There are different versions. You could do this gimmick, you can do this type of personality, but I think that she just saw that it was successful and she was like, all right, I'm in a bigger company and I can do whatever I want. I think people just feel like they can do whatever they want if they're in WWE, which honestly, again, if it would be 50 years ago when there was no internet, you can get away with that, but now everybody knows everything. I could go on Twitter and you can see Max. Even if you don't know who Max is, we're still in the same business, and I think you need to respect each other, and just out of respect, you could maybe use different colors or different patterns. It was totally similar. To me, it feels like a disrespectful ripoff. I think that shouldn't be happening in wrestling. I love Max, I think she's awesome, so please, respect her career. She's an independent wrestler at this point, it's hard for her to do what she does. She's not signed to a huge amount of money, and she makes money out of this, so please, wrestlers, be respectful to each other. While Max may have done it first, Valhalla will have a much wider exposure as part of WWE, but the newest member of the Viking experience is gathering heat within the wrestling industry. For decades, Vince McMahon was the ultimate decision-maker in WWE and approved plenty of intriguing and often downright bizarre characters. In 2015, the Boogeyman made his debut for WWE, and the worm-eating superstar quickly found himself in a feud with JBL. In January 2006, a segment with JBL resulted in the former WWE champion being splashed with worms from the ceiling, and while this wasn't Bradshaw's best night, it was McMahon who suffered the most. Speaking on the Wrestling Perspective podcast, MLW CEO and former WWE creative team member Court Bauer said that McMahon loved the segment until he learned that his company spent $30,000 on the invertebrates. Bauer said that a production assistant tried to defend the purchase, saying their supplier was out of normal worms and that they had to go organic instead. McMahon was said to be shocked for the rest of the segment, and Bauer predicts that the production assistant lost their job not long after, but as we've learned this year, it wouldn't be the last big payout McMahon would live to regret. Since May, Randy Orton has been out of action with a severe back injury, one that has left some people fearing he may never return. Recently, Orton's father and WWE Hall of Famer Cowboy Bob Orton spoke about his son, saying his recovery is coming along, but now another legend has some advice for the Viper. Speaking to Sportskeeda, Teddy Long advised Orton to make the right decisions, even if that means not coming back to wrestling. Well, the thing I would like to say about that is Randy Orton, great friend of mine too, had a lot of great times with him there. I just hope Randy makes the right decision, you know? There are people like Edge, Kurt Angle, who said they wouldn't come back once they found out they had injuries and the doctors told them it'd be dangerous for them to return to the ring. And they came right back, so I just hope Randy does the right thing. If the doctors tell you to stay out of the ring, I suggest you stay out of the ring. Not to just deliberately hurt yourself, it's still about the money, man. Orton celebrated his 20th anniversary since his WWE debut just weeks before his injury, and at the time said he hoped to be wrestling for another decade. Now, though, wrestling another year looks increasingly unlikely for the Legend Killer, and with a Hall of Fame spot practically guaranteed thanks to his epic career, it could be that the Viper has delivered his last RKO already. As we mentioned earlier, Dakota Kai returned to WWE at SummerSlam, and along with Bayley and Io Sky, have formed the faction Damage Control. The trio have been a consistent presence on TV, even if their premium live event appearance has often seen them lose, and we've now learned more about the original plans for the group. On Getting Over, Kai said that the original pitch for Damage Control was made years ago and would have seen Bayley, Kai, Candice LeRae, and Tegan Nox. Obviously, things have changed since then, and Kai said that more recently, the group was going to be herself, Sky, Alba Fire, and Raquel Rodriguez. A heel stable is something that Bayley has been wanting to do for years, and now she's got it. And while the Damage Control we see on TV we have 2 reigns as women's tag team champions to their name, it's a far cry from what was originally planned. Last weekend, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat competed in his first match since 2010 in a bout chock full of AEW talent. Steamboat teamed with AEW's FTR to face AEW's Brock Anderson and Jay Lethal, who brought in Nick Aldis to make things even. Even at his advanced age, the 69-year-old legend proved he could still go in the ring and has caught the attention of Tony Khan. When asked by Tommy Dreamer, Khan told the listeners of Busted Open Radio that he was thrilled to get FTR to team with Steamboat and that he would welcome the Dragon back to AEW in any role. Steamboat has previously appeared for AEW, having a backstage confrontation with Chris Jericho at the House of the Dragon special earlier this year, and was the guest timekeeper for Bryan Danielson versus Daniel Garcia. A personal idol of Khan, Ricky Steamboat would prove to be an asset on or off screen, but it's up to the Dragon where his future in pro wrestling lies. And we're ending today with Kenny Omega, who had some words for the crowd after last night's Dynamite went off the air. After the Elite defeated Death Triangle in Match 3 of their best-of-7 series, Omega grabbed the mic to speak about how he missed 9 weeks of wrestling due to his suspension, which came after a 9-month hiatus due to injury. Omega was thankful that he was able to cut loose with some of his best friends in the whole world, namely the Young Bucks, and thanked the fans to end the night of Dynamite. After his injury and the CM Punk debacle, Kenny Omega is looking to the future and is ready to get back to wrestling after so long away. That's it, guys. That's your wrestling news for today. Make sure to check out our channel for amazing wrestling content. Also, subscribe to our channel for daily wrestling news.